Hi, we're back. It's a slightly different format today, but we've got a shared space hangout between obviously ourselves, Spark, and we've got Merlin from Morpho, joining us in this rapid fireside chat today. And we're going to be talking about a few really fun things. Of course, this is very much from a cross synergistic point of view for the Morpho community, and then also from a Spark perspective, a Spark community perspective. But I'm not. I don't think there's any reason or need to do intros. But we'll just do a quick intro because our community is obviously going to be seeing this, and then the Morpho community is obviously also going to be seeing this. So let's just start with Sam. Sam, how's it going on your side? A brief intro.
Yeah, it's going great, Phil. So, hi everybody. Maybe most of you probably know me. I'm CEO of Phoenix Labs. We're working on Spark, which does lending in the Sky ecosystem, and we do integrations into protocols such as Morpho.
Cool. Thanks, Sam. And Merlin.
Yeah, thanks Sam and Philip for the invite. So I'm Merlin, co-founder of Morpho. So we're building a on-chain lending protocol. It's second largest, and we are very close to Spark. I guess we'll go into the details later on. But yeah, very close partner with Spark on a few very interesting integrations.
Absolutely. And we're definitely skating where the puck is, so to speak. The market is looking quite frothy. The lending and the loaning is coming on fast and furious. Coinbase had some very exciting announcements last night. I don't know if you guys caught it. It was quite late in Central European time, but there's just such a staggering amount of innovation coming out of the base team. And considering they've been around for 12, 13 years, it's quite exciting to be, working closely with the base and the Coinbase team. But yeah, okay. So I think, just in essence, what we wanted to do today is, we've still got Ignition running, which is our major airdrop, SPK airdrop. So I just wanted to set up this quick chat between obviously Sam and yourself, Merlin, to talk about what Ignition is, the eligibility criteria behind why Morpho users need to be aware of this and what they need to do to go and claim their airdrop. And then, let's talk a little bit more about where we think the juice really sits, and that's within the lending market. But without further ado, Sam, I'm going to hand it to you. If you can give us, a quick update and explanation outline on what Ignition is.
Yeah, sure. So Ignition is the airdrop campaign to celebrate the launch of the SPK token and get it out to the community that has really helped to support and grow, not only Spark, but since way back in the day, even users of DAI. And yeah, it's really just to give back to the community who have helped so much to support us. And yeah, the Ignition is broken into two phases. So there is the first phase that is the initial airdrop, which has gone out, and the eligibility criteria. We'll get to that in a minute. This goes wide to all of DeFi, and then basically you have a cohort of people who claim and stake it, and then those who claim and stake and meet all the requirements will qualify for the second phase of the airdrop, which is called Overdrive, where the unclaimed portion of the Ignition airdrop is repurposed to go out to those who claim and stake as a bonus.
Yeah. And we've just hit a very exciting milestone, probably about an hour or so ago. We've just exceeded the 100 million SPK mark in terms of total stake.
Oh wow!
So
Congrats on that.
yeah,
It's
that's
cool
by
feat.
no small feat, and it also comes at quite a significant timing. This is literally like a month since token launch. So it's, I mean, when you say the sparks or the stars are aligned, I think that's definitely it's poetic in a way. Cool. Sam, what is the criteria or eligibility for Morpho users to be obviously able to claim SPK for this airdrop?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, this goes out to wide to DeFi. So for the Morpho specific portion, this is anybody who has lent over $5,000 in aggregate across either USDS, SUSDS, USDT, USDC, USDE, SUSDE, DAI, or SDAI. So basically every major stablecoin. Yeah, and so the snapshot date was taken on March 15th. So if you had, if you were doing any sort of lending with these assets, please check the UI. You can check your eligibility at any point. And so the qualifying chains there are mainnet, Base, and Polygon.
Cool. Awesome. And of course, if any users have any questions, they should, they should hit us up on our forums. We're highly active on Discord, Telegram, and soon to be WeChat. So if you're based in Asia, we are going to be front and
Oh,
center in
really?
those. Yeah, which presents interesting challenges. I won't lie, but I don't know about you, but my Chinese is not that good. But I'm brushing up on. I'm joking. I don't speak Chinese, but we do have resources that are being deployed in China, which is quite exciting.
That's cool. That's cool.
Um, Merlin, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Thank you so much again for taking time out of your busy schedule. We've been trying to organize this session for weeks now, ever since I think CC. It's been a little bit of a tag back and forth, but we're here. We're now in the
Now is the
present.
day.
Yeah, now's
Not the
seize the
line.
day. Seize the day, exactly. Merlin, let's talk about where, like, I think everything is, where we're sitting in terms of just the Coinbase lending market. Can you just give us a brief update on what exactly that is, and then we can talk about roles and responsibilities between obviously Spark ourselves, and the role Morpho plays.
Sure. So the crypto back loan product that Coinbase released, like I think it was 4 or 5 month ago, it's basically allowing Coinbase users to use their Bitcoin in the centralized account on Coinbase to put that as collateral on Base on Morpho and borrow USDC against that collateral. And the cool thing about it is it's the first time that it's via mainstream mobile app is just one click. It's using passkey, the Coinbase Smart Wallet. So as a user, they don't see that it's DeFi. They don't need to set up a wallet and take care of the seed phrase and then go do unwrap stuff, etc. They have get rid of all the complexity of using DeFi protocols, and this is like where the magic is just like super seamless, one click, Face ID, and you can borrow USDC, get USDC, and actually spend your USDC at the grocery using the Coinbase card or like trade against that. As of now, there's like almost maybe more than 1 billion of BTC as collateral. I've just after just 4 or 5 days and 500 mil of active USDC loans, which is like insane growth, and it's kind of like a proof that the DeFi mullet, like this mean that fintech in the front, back end in the back, is really taking off, and now we're seeing a lot of players in the space trying to reproduce that. Obviously, those like 500 mil of USDC are not coming from like, I mean, the cool thing is like with DeFi, it's global access to liquidity. So you can get USDC from any lender in that space. And right now I mean Spark is the major biggest lender here, and I think like maybe it represents perhaps 80% of that market. So they have been this engine that makes this product as successful as it is right now. And we have even like some institutions reaching out and like, hey, the rates that those retail users are getting, they're getting like cheapest rates on their Bitcoin than we can get. And this is because of like as I said, like global access to liquidity and actors like Spark that can be very agile and provide liquidity whenever there's an opportunity that makes sense with organic demand. I guess Smart Sun, maybe I don't know. You want to dive into this because I think this is a very interesting and synergetic like relationship that we have on that product.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this stuff like it's very cool to see this all fit together. This is really the DeFi Legos in action, and it's like from end to end, you have like lenders primarily on Ethereum that are then the capital that is provided there is then moved over cross-chain to Base, which is then provided into lending infrastructure, which is Morpho, which is then integrated into the Coinbase app. So it's just like this long chain, and really all the players combined are making this possible. So between us and Morpho and Coinbase, it really takes everybody on all fronts. And then the end result is just this very seamless user experience. The DeFi mullet. I know you guys are big fans of that. We are too. I think it's definitely the way to scale DeFi and really get the benefits of permissionless and composable infrastructure within DeFi exposed to the masses. And so Yeah, we're extremely bullish with this type of integration, and the tech side of me, I find this stuff forever just very cool, and so
Yeah.
that side is just awesome.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, the analogy of Lego blocks, obviously, it's quite visual or a visual representation. Do you see this getting streamlined at some point in the future? Like, do you think there'll be some sort of vertical integration of the technology stack, or do you think that everyone will always have a role to play within the Lego system? I'll open that to anyone who wants to answer that.
Well, I'm not sure there will be vertical integration, but more like a maybe synergetic partnership. On our side, like we really focus on like building that lending infrastructure that can pour a use case on top of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure like we don't really have this vision of we'll create the chain and then the wallet and maybe like offer product and to fully own the stack. We want to build that credibly neutral infrastructure
Mm.
so that anyone can build on top, and we create like a some sort of like free market competition, and we foster innovation, right? And push the innovation to the edges. I think this is really our mindset.
Mm.
So I don't think like personally would go that route
Yeah.
um, on the Morpho side at least.
Perfect. Cool. Okay, so obviously, both protocols, Morpho and obviously Spark, are revenue generating machines, right? So, like, just in terms of annualized, I'm just going to use the sort of group or collective ecosystem annual revenue item, which is $180 million, of which Spark assumes, I think it's about 70 or 80 million of that. Sam, can you just explain why this makes so much sense, obviously, moving forward in terms of the revenue component for Spark?
Yeah, I mean, lending is, a good business. It generates revenue. People need to take out loans, so there's like real organic usage here. So for the usage of blockchains, I think lending is just one of the big use cases in DeFi in general. And so the way I see it is that as we continue to expand the amount of assets on chain,
Yeah.
historically it's more just been like crypto collateral, ETH and Bitcoin and stuff like that. We're starting to see more and more real world assets coming on chain, which is going to uh, broadly, it's going to diversify the types of lending that are available. I think doing lending has been relatively straightforward. There's like you do lending against ETH and Bitcoin, and there's not really that much differentiation between protocols, ignoring like smart contract risk and stuff like that. So I think once we get this like, Cambrian explosion of assets coming on chain, different risk managers are going to bring different structures to the table, and it's just going to get way more interesting. And so, flexible, composable, like modular lending infrastructure, I think is a big part in the future. But at Spark, we do lending with everybody, so all the protocols we're very open. We are just looking to generate the best risk-adjusted return across all opportunities in DeFi, CeFi, and TradFi, and then forwarding this to the depositors in the savings product.
Awesome. Cool. Obviously, a lot of this is all the majority currently is coming from Coinbase, correct?
Yes, that number.
Yeah.
Maybe you can comment on that, Merlin.
What do you mean on the total deposits or
Yeah. The total demand side of it.
in terms of bore
Yes.
or yeah, so I think there's like, as I said, like 500 mil of like total borrow from the Coinbase users
Yeah.
on base. In total, I think we were at 2.5 in total across like different chains. I mean, on the full supports
Yeah.
of active loans. I should double check actually those numbers to be honest. I'm not taking into account on the light support chains
Mhm.
because
It's
we
a
come. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah, I
sorry,
was just
Sam.
gonna say it's a significant amount, but I think the more like the
Yeah, yeah,
interesting thing is, maybe it's not the majority of the loan book, but it's like it's a new market.
Yeah.
This is people who haven't been in DeFi before, and they're now being onboarded into DeFi. I think this is the seed of the exciting thing that's changing with
Yeah.
these types of
yeah.
integration.
And the cool thing also, I must add on this is it's organic demand. It's not driven by any incentives or like deals or whatever. It's just like pure organic demand, and this is, I think, something that is truly missing in the DeFi space, where it's kind of it's still a bubble. I think Spark and the Maker ecosystem has worked a lot on bringing reward asset on chain and like trying to bridge the gap between DeFi and TradFi. But it has been like we were missing like infrastructure providers and some other bridge that could help into that. And I think now we are reaching a state where we have all the tools to onboard more and more people, fintechs, institution, asset manager on chain, which is like a very like a real pleasure to see, because now we can burst that DeFi bubble and get millions of users access to DeFi and make them benefit from all the cool stuff that we've been building for like the past few years.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
one thing I want to add one thing. So like not only is it organic demand, but interestingly, I'm hearing these sort of loans are used for non crypto speculation, which is actually very exciting because loans in DeFi by and large are just like going leverage long on Bitcoin or ETH, or doing some sort of like yield farming type structure. And really, if we really want the industry to mature and grow beyond sort of the bull bear speculative mania. We really need sustainable loans, and this is sort of the first. Like there have been other instances of this, but we're starting to see an increase in like loans used for non crypto related stuff in like the real
Yeah.
world.
I
Very exciting.
actually had two Coinbase users that told me that one swap his mortgage loan to Bitcoin USDC loan because he
Mhm.
had Bitcoin and it was cheapest to borrow against Bitcoin than the mortgage loan that he had. And another one was so his girlfriend was living in Australia, sorry, in Africa, and there he could not get any loan to buy any house, so used like the same like a Coinbase borrow product to borrow against his Bitcoin and get USDC. So those are two like very very cool stories, and it's just like just remind us why we were here and why we are building all those things. And it's thanks to Spark, it's thanks to Coinbase, thanks to Morpho. As I said, like money that goes coming together and enabling those use cases that were
And
not possible using TradFi.
Yeah, and this flywheel is actually it's all ultimately being driven by demand for stablecoins, which is one of the main product market fits for crypto. And so we see stablecoin demand usage just continuing to go up into the right, and this drives on the back end cheap credit, and this is what's
Yeah,
driving people to come in and get these financing their mortgage, this kind of stuff. This is all very exciting, and like it's just going to drag more and more people into crypto because those who get involved are getting cheaper loans.
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately what we're trying to do, right? Make the world more accessible to the average person out there in terms of finance, financial vehicles. And I think that it's great when you hear those personal stories of someone in Africa being able to apply something that has real world utility. I mean, a house over your head is that's the ultimate goal, right? Depending on if you're a Bitcoiner or not. But cool. Okay, guys. Just a sort of theoretical question of what the future might hold. Obviously, we all believe that and it looks like we're skating to where the puck is, so to speak. What do you think? Fast forward, and it's great. I mean, Sam mentioned about the industry maturity, and I think we're really at that point where CDFI is coming, together in a very cohesive way. But fast forward a couple of years, what do you think the landscape is going to look like? Do you think there's going to be a distinction between the two different arenas?
Yeah, I can start with this. Yeah, so I don't know how long it's going to take, but finance will just eventually be synonymous with DeFi in the long run. And this is due to the capital efficiency improvements. But there's always the path. How do we get there? And I firmly believe that stablecoins are the black hole that is dragging everything on chain. So we started with just the US dollar instruments. which then led to treasury bills coming on chain. And stablecoins are the major buyer of these assets for their backing. Now we see instances of private credit, and I think this is just going to continue to accelerate with the central demand coming from users of who want access to the U.S. dollar primarily. So dollarification of the world, and stablecoins in particular are really helping to facilitate that. And you see announcements of tokenized stocks, stuff like this. I think it's really starting to snowball now, and I think maybe it takes 5 years, maybe it takes 10 years, but it's inevitable. Everything is going to come on chain eventually.
Agreed. Totally. Merlin?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, and I think it's not a if, it's a when, and I don't know. I think so. Not talking about 20 years, but I think in 2 years we'll have like all major fintechs on chain, fully on chain. Like I've replaced the backend by the DeFi rails, and the fintech that would have not done that by this time would become like slowly irrelevant. And same thing for all like major TradFi firms. If they don't do the move, they will become irrelevant or be bypassed. So I think we'll see a compression of like all actors in the TradFi world, where you don't need all those intermediaries. So there will be a contraction of those actors, and some will do the transition, some will won't, and some will become irrelevant, and some will see the opportunities and still deliver like amazing product to users. I think like Spark and Morpho will play a huge role as like backend and facilitator into the onboarding of those actors into DeFi. So I'm very excited about that. It might take like 5, 10, 20 years to have everything fully migrated into the DeFi space, but we're here for that, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I read the other day, I think Standard Chartered just got a license to offer custodial Bitcoin or crypto assets to its customer base. Do you think some of these banks, these traditional big laggard banks, do you think they're able to keep up? And I'm giving the example back when I was opening up with Coinbase, like it's 12, 13 years old, but they move extremely fast. They move like a startup. Do you think banks still have an opportunity to catch up to the space that is moving at a hell of a rate? What's your thinking there, and do you think there's any synergistic potential there with CeFi?
Right. So I think there's different paths you can take to keep the pace. Ever you acquire companies and fintechs, and I think it's a relevant option for very large banks that have like a lot of money and structurally can't do it, because when you're a large company, you have like more processes, and it's harder. You have also a different culture that prevents you to be as fast, but you can acquire a company, and if you acquire a company and you give them full autonomy, but provide resources, you can do great things. The example that comes to mind is Stripe. So it's still like considered a startup, but it's still like a very large company, and they acquire Privy. I'm sure they will give like full autonomy to the company, and they will be able to like move very, very fast. So I think it's a relevant options. Some actors are already like tokenizing assets, doing stuff on chain. I don't know how fast they will do. It will totally revamp the how we see the ecosystem. Hard to say what will happen, to be honest.
Yeah, exciting nonetheless. I think it'll be an opportunity where they want to come eat at our dinner table, which will be a slight shift of dynamic, considering the legacy industry of banking over 100 years or so. All right, guys, thank you so much. I know that you both are incredibly busy. We'll look to wrap up now. So again, thanks, Merlin, for your time, for popping onto this. And Sam, also likewise, thank you very much for taking time to have a chat today. Just to kind of summarize, of course, this is really for awareness across the Morpho community, that if you have basically taken a loan out for over $5,000 across a number of different stablecoins, you are highly eligible to claim the SPK airdrop. And then obviously, as Sam was explaining, ignition is the first part. And if you stake, you get the exciting second part of the airdrop, which is Overdrive, which will be all the excess leftover tokens that are going to be redistributed. So for me, it's a no-brainer, but sometimes people need a little bit of a nudge. Guys, thank you so much. Merlin, Sam, any final thoughts, or should we look to wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, just the future is bright. Claim your airdrops, and let's fucking go.
It's good it's
Yeah.
recording. I might have to bleep that out.
Thanks, Sam, Philip, for the time. Let's build together, move more people and liquidity on chain. That's amazing. And
I
thanks
love
again.
that. I love that tagline. It's brilliant. Cool. Thank you, guys. I'm just going to switch off now.
All right.